what you got. Oh, I can't see tomorrow. Gotta live, try to get a little wiggle room, the rest don't stop. Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Tryna make a dollar, flip it like it's vinyl. Tryna make a way. What's it worth to you if the price too high? Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Give me a gun. I won't take nothing less, cause I'm giving you 100. How you always leaving me with nothing? I'm not impressed. It's gonna take more than this, cause I'm giving you 100. And I don't even know if I can trust you for nothing.
Well, good morning. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Friday. What's happening? It is January the 20th, and we are up and rocking this morning. Good morning, Vanessa. I love that you're always the first one here. Vanessa's always the first one to say good morning. She is rocking this morning routine, y'all. Hey, good morning to you. Let's see who that is. Good morning, Michelle T. Who's hey, good morning? Who's that? Maybe it's on the Nation page and I can't see it. Good morning, Erica. How are you? Good morning, everybody. Hey, get in here and let's get going. Good morning, Shay. Heather B, what's happening? Y'all have got to get your thing. Y'all click the link, get your name set up in StreamYard. It's not that hard. Take a little time and do it. I know it's hard. Sometimes you don't. It's like windshield wipers in the rain. You don't remember that you need windshield wipers until it's raining, and then you turn your windshield wipers on. You're like, oh, crap, I forgot about that. I got my daughter's car the other day, and her windshield wipers were awful. I'm like, baby, you've got to get these windshield wipers fixed. And she goes, I know. I don't think about it till it rains. Isn't that crazy? We don't think about that. There's a life lesson in that we don't think about the things we need until we actually need them. We don't prepare, knowing that we need those things. We react to when we need it, and then it's too late, right? We stop smoking when we have cancer, or we stop drinking when our livers are already shriveled up. At that point, y'all, it's kind of too late. So funny story, another day. But good morning, y'all. It's Friday, man. I'm looking forward to this call this morning. I don't know, I don't really have any. I do have a little something I wanted to talk about, but we're gonna get everybody in here and get them going. So let's just go ahead and get started. Maybe it won't be an entire hour. Maybe we'll just do. Maybe I don't know. Sometimes, and I want y'all's input. I know these calls go and they sort of have a life of their own, and they just go as long as I feel like talking. And y'all know I like to talk, so I don't want to necessarily make it an hour all the time. I just want it to be impactful. I want you to take something away from it. So, if you guys are, if an hour is too long, I can condense the message. Coach Burt does a little 5-minute thing. I don't know if 5 minutes is enough. I'd much rather spend some time going through some things with you guys and spending more than 5 or 10 minutes. So I don't want it to be like drone on and on and on and just kind of like you guys get bored and jump out. I want to make sure that it's relevant and fun and all that kind of stuff. So give me your input. If you guys think that we're good, we'll keep going. If you guys think maybe a little bit shorter, maybe whatever, or we just leave it alone and just let it have a life of its own. Let it do what it's going to do. I'm good with either of those or all of those, or as long as it's not none of those, I'm good. Well, hey, good morning. My name is Aaron Dwyer. My wife, Christy, and I own Exit Realty Lake Country. I'm one of the broker owners. So most of you that are on this call now, you know that. But if you watch this later or you see this on YouTube or on some of the other channels, I just want to take a minute and introduce myself to you. The purpose of this is we do this every single morning, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern. Start our day with a number of agents in our company in Georgia and Tennessee, and try to get them off on a good start, motivated and ready to rock and conquer their day. So that's why we do this. And without further ado, let's get this thing rocking, y'all. I kind of expected more people in here this morning, but it's okay. It's all good. Let's rock and roll. Is there anything anybody wants to talk about? I know a lot of you were on, and I kind of thought about this. I wouldn't typically do this on this call, but I did think about this morning. And I'm not look. I don't see Cynthia. I don't see some of the folks. Teal. I don't see those folks on here yet. Um, but I did want to. We did that for sale by owner training yesterday, and something that hit me is that I kind of not kind of, I actually did sort of gloss over how you find them for sale by owners. So I'm happy to share that this morning. Some of you were here this morning, you're like, well, how do I even find a for sale by owner? Um, I'm happy to share that. Some of you guys on here, most of you guys that I see on here now, unless there's somebody hidden that I don't see, most of you on here now, I would assume know how to find for sale by owners. But if you don't, I'm happy to share that with you guys this morning, or maybe do something later this afternoon to share that with you. So, is there anything you guys want to talk about? Anybody on here that wants to put a comment and kind of talk about something maybe you're struggling with, something maybe you're going through, and maybe we let that drive the call today. So, if you want to put a comment on here and let me know, I'll give you a second to type something in there. Yesterday we had a couple of comments and it helped drive the call. So if this morning you're struggling with something, or there's something you want to get addressed on the call, and I'm happy to do that. So you got something? Put it in there. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. That was the first time I ran through that, so hopefully it's going to get better. It's recorded, and so obviously with a PowerPoint and kind of being prepared with that, I can do it again and again and again. So I should have sent out one of those little class evaluation things at the end and let you guys sort of grade it and tell me how I need to improve. But if you want me to integrate something in there, but thank you for that. I enjoy doing it. It took me a little bit to put it together, but it took me a little bit to get going. Shay said, any advice for new agents? Shay, here's what I want to tell you. I know you are ready to rock and roll, and I see your marketing, and I see you doing what you're doing. Here's my advice for new agents. You've got to get your mind around this. This is the same advice for new agents that I would give anybody, anywhere, anytime. You've got to get your mind right. You've got to get your mind around success. You've got to get your mind more focused on accomplishment than on failure, which is a fantastic segue. So I know it sounds trite. I know it maybe not what you want to hear, but if you have I finished the book 75 Hard this morning. So I finished my third book for 2023. My goal is to read 24 this year. I've just finished my third book. So I'm really excited about the momentum that I have right now. And I heard something yesterday, and I think it goes back into today. And I'm hopefully going to expand on this, maybe write something on this, maybe talk about this at some point for some people. But the difference, and I want you to kind of hone in on this and try to wrap your emotions around this. Okay. The difference between have to and get to. The emotional difference between being obligated to do something and having the opportunity to do something. The emotional difference between a requirement and a desire. And so Shay, to answer your question, a lot of times new agents get into this business and you don't know what's going on. You have no idea what to do. You don't even know where to start. So I'm going to tell you where to start. Where you start in this business is the same way you start in life. It's the same way you start every single day. It's the same way you start everything else that you do. And that is you get your mind focused on success. Because the subtle difference between looking at failure and looking at success, that subtle difference, that subtle slight change, and that's what I put on here this morning. The difference between get to and have to, it's not huge, it's subtle, but it's a small emotional shift between I've got to go to, I got to go to Cabo for work. I've got to go to Cabo for 3 days and work and be in seminars and yada, yada, yada. And that drain, or I get to go to Cabo on vacation and do nothing but whatever I feel like doing. It's the difference between, hey, I have to call these prospects today. I have to get on the phone and prospect today, or waking up with, I get to prospect today. I get to go find new business today. In the book, in 75 Hard, Andy Frisella talks about a situation that's so true. So apparently he's a car guy. He likes race cars, and he sponsors a race car team. And Ryan Hardwick, as at the writing of that book, Ryan Hardwick was the driver of the car that he sponsors. And so he'd gone out to the track with Ryan Hardwick and wanted to learn because he's a car guy, and he wanted to ride around the track. So Ryan Hardwick took him out there, and then Andy Frisella got behind the wheel of the car and did what he did around the track. And he talked about how nerve wracking it was. But later in the book, he talks about how difficult it is when you think about it to drive a race car, that you're inches away from the wall, you're inches away from another car, you're driving 140 or 150 miles an hour, and any slight subtle change in your focus, any slight subtle change in what your eyes are looking at causes accidents. And so the example that he gives is when the driver gets close to the wall, if they start looking at the wall, they're naturally inclined to go towards what they're looking at, and they hit the wall. So when they get close to the wall, when they get in those tight situations, when they feel the cars and the wall around them and they feel things closing in, they don't look at the danger, they look at the opportunity. They don't look at the sides and what's going to hurt them, they look at the opening and where they can go. I'm going to let that just marinate just for a second. So many times in our lives, especially as a new agent, Shay, so many times in our lives, we look at all the things that we aren't doing. We look at all the things we may not be good at. We look at all the things that may cause us harm or hurt us. We look at the wall and the car beside us instead of looking at the opportunity. You hear me say all the time, we see exactly what we're looking for. And if you're looking for trouble, if you're looking for the wall, if you're looking for the danger, you're certainly going to find it. But if you're looking for the opening, if you look for the opportunity, if you look out in front and keep your eyes focused on where you're going, not where you are or where you've been, and you keep your eyes focused on where you're going, and you've got clear that race car driver, when he sees the road out in front of him, when he sees the track out in front of him, when they see the openings out in front of them, that's where their eyes go. And where their eyes go is where their body goes, is where their car goes. The car follows the eyes. Your momentum follows your eyes. Your momentum follows your vision. Your momentum follows your focus. So that's my encouragement for you today. Instead of looking at what I have to do today, instead of thinking about or feeling, oh my gosh, I have to prospect 2 hours today, I have to go do this today, you get the opportunity. Your eyes are open. God woke you up this morning. You are awake this morning with unlimited opportunity to be better today than you were yesterday. You woke up this morning with the opportunity and 24 hours ahead of you to be absolutely more fantastic than you were yesterday. So, Shay, my advice for new agents is you got to get your mind right around success because I can teach you how to call leads. I can give you scripts. I can give you books and books and piles and pages of names and phone numbers and email addresses to call and to email. I could tell you all the things to do. I could give you every direction to go. And unless you believe that any of those things or all of those things are possible, it won't matter because you're looking at the wall. You're looking at the car around you when I need you to look out front and look at the opportunity. So here's what I would say, Shay. My advice to a new agent is you got to get your mind around success. You've got to get your emotions and your heart built around success. You've got to have a clear picture and vision of what you want your business to look like and where exactly you want to go, what you want your life to look like, and focus on that only. That's my advice for new agents. And then let everything else take care of itself. Because the universe, just like when you get exactly what you're looking for, the universe and God has a funny way of giving you exactly what you're looking for, exactly what you're focusing on. It's amazing. As a police officer, we used to always get warned about this. Drunk drivers typically hit police officers on the side of the road, right? So when a lot of police officers get hit while they have somebody pulled over on the side of the interstate or on the side of the road, a lot of police officers get hit by oncoming traffic and get. I mean, it's bad. One of the most traumatic experiences of my life. I'll tell this story. One of the most traumatic experiences of my life. There was a female officer. Her name was Chris. Gosh, dog, what's her name? I can think of her name now. I can see her face. It'll come to me. 'Cause it's not Kristen Vanderkoy. She's another female officer friend of mine, but that wasn't the one it was. It's killing me that I had a complete vapor lock in my brain. But when I was a police officer, it was really close to the time that I was getting almost done with being a police officer, and this she was a newer officer. She hadn't been on very long. We were all hanging out. We used to go to it's called Signature Aviation, so it was a private jet company at the airport, and they had a super cool lounge, and they let us go up there and hang out. We get in there and watch TV if it was cold outside or snowing or whatever. And we'd go in there and hang out. We kind of made it our little office away from the office, so we'd go in there and hang out with each other. We were in there hanging out. We were in there just kind of chilling, and there was a call on the interstate for a vehicle stopped on the inside shoulder of the road, and this female officer went and did it. She went in. She answered the call, drove to the call, was just going to go pull up behind her, give her a little protection from the oncoming traffic on the interstate, and everything was going to be okay, and help her change her tire, do whatever. Then another officer left soon after that. He went over there to be with her to sort of back her up. We're all still sitting there at Signature Aviation. It's me and two or three other guys, and we're still hanging out and just normal routine, whatever. Probably less than 7 8 minutes later, the second officer who left, the second officer who went to follow and to back her up starts screaming on the radio. And he's screaming on the radio for an ambulance. He's screaming on the radio for help. A tractor trailer had driven down Interstate 40 on 40 East, was going too fast, saw them on the inside shoulder of the road, was looking kind of where they were, what they were doing, right? And ends up hitting them. He hits the police car, hits the female officer, knocks her about 30 feet down the interstate. Luckily, because he hit the back of the police car and hit her, there was the other lady who was in the van with her kids who had a flat tire who pulled over to the inside shoulder of the road. Because the tractor trailer hit the police car and hit her, it protected them. So he's screaming on the radio. We all take off. We're flying down the interstate, get to her, and it's awful. It's one of the most horrific things I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've seen some bad stuff. But again, a really bad, awful, emotional story in relation to you go exactly where your eyes are. And in that situation, he drove that semi truck where his eyes were looking, and it caused death and destruction. How many times in our lives do we create our own death and destruction because we're only looking at the bad stuff? We don't look at what we get to do. We don't look at this next 24 hours as an opportunity with our vision out in front of us, with our dream out in front of us, with all the things that we have out in front of us to go chase, all the things we have out in front of us to go do. And that's my wish for you today. My wish for you today on this Friday, on this January the 20th, all my 75 hard folks that are still in it, 20 days, baby. 20 second the mile marker 25. I'm so excited about. I'm so excited for these next 5 days. And this next fifth, this getting to 33% of the way there. So congrats if you made it to day 20. Congrats if you're on day 18. Congrats if you're on day 17. Congrats if you're on day 2. Congrats. Just keep on. I'm telling you, keep on. Don't let this is the crazy thing. It goes to, it is exactly in line with what I'm saying. If you look at it being hard, and this is the way it was written this morning, y'all know I gave up pizza, right? So part of my diet is I gave up pizza. And not for any other reason, but the fact that I love pizza so much. I absolutely love pizza. It is my go-to. I usually have 4 or 5 frozen pizzas in the freezer at every house all the time. And in a pinch, that's what I go eat. And I'll eat a whole pizza. I'll sit and eat an entire pizza. I love pizza. Wherever we go out of town, I look for good pizza restaurants. I'm always going to find fantastic pizza, right? I love it. Absolutely adore pizza. And so I gave it up. I said, no pizza. For the next 75 days, I'm not going to eat pizza. That's hard. That's super hard for me. But I'm also going no carb. Okay. So what was written in the book, and it's funny, he used pizza in the example this morning as I'm finishing up the book. At the end, he uses pizza as an example. And he says, if you look at the fact that you're giving up pizza, it makes you want pizza that much more. So think about that. When you concentrate on what you're giving up, when you're only focusing on what you're losing, when you're only focusing on what you've got to stop doing, you just want to do that more. It creates this draw, it creates this desire, it creates this thing that you've got to do it more, that you want it more, that you got to have it more. And if you don't have it, you're going to be miserable. And that's the challenge in the 75 hard thing. That's the challenge with our lives is when we focus on what we've got to give up to get what we want, we typically don't focus on what we want. We focus on what we've got to get rid of. So the reason 75 hard is such a challenge, the reason life is such a challenge is because we have to focus on good morning, whoever that is. I'm guessing that's probably Millie. Good morning, Millie, if that's you. The reason it's so hard is because we have our eyes on the wrong thing. We have our eyes on giving something up versus getting something good. We have our eyes on what we're going to not have versus on what we are going to have. We've got to focus on the right things. So when you're focused on prospecting, when you're focusing on your business, when you're focusing on doing the things that are wonderful in life, don't focus on them as have tos. Don't focus on them as some obligation or some going through the motion. Focus on them. Train your eyes on the fact that you get to do it, that it's an opportunity for you to spend some time with your family. It's an opportunity for you to try to help a family, that you have a value in this world and in the real estate marketplace, that you have a value that you can help other people be better, get better, do better. Some of you love working with those first-time home buyers. And right now, and I'm just being straight honest with y'all. I don't like working with first time home buyers because my vision is wrong, because how I look at it is incorrect. I look at a first time home buyer where they're going to ask too many questions. They're going to need too much of my time. I don't have time to give them. It's going to be too hard. That's how I look at first time home buyers. When the correct vision, when the correct outlook, when how I should look at them is I have an opportunity many times with a first time home buyer to change generational curses, that I have opportunities sometimes with first time home buyers to change what happens after them. Because now their kids get to live in a house. Their kids get to see their grandmother that bought her first house 20 years ago, that she did something that nobody's ever done before in their family. And it changes the direction of that branch of the family tree. That I, as a real estate agent, you as a real estate professional, have an opportunity to change the direction of a family. That's super cool. That you have the ability to really look at a situation and direct them to a much different outcome than they would have been or what they would have experienced without your involvement in their life. That's super cool. And that's the difference between a have to and a get to. And I think if we could all change our vision and train our vision on what we get to do, on the opportunities that we have and the cool things we get to do, if we could stop looking at the wall, stop looking at the danger, stop looking at all the things around us that are causing us hurt or harm. I couldn't get it out of my mouth. If we could stop looking at all the things that may cause us hurt or harm and look out to the track ahead of us where the open track is, where the open air is, where all the safety is, where we're headed, where we're going, and not where we've been. If we could train our eyes on the get to versus the have to, I promise you everything else is going to line up. Everything else is going to line up. When you are the locomotive and not the caboose, you get to drive the train. You get to tell the train where to go. When you're the caboose and not the locomotive, you got to go exactly where the locomotive goes. You got to go exactly where that train goes because now you're just following along. Now you're just drugged and pulled, and you're stuck being obligated to wherever the locomotive goes. So I want you today to train your eyes on the opportunity that you have in front of you on this Friday, the 20th day of January. Y'all, we're still only 20 days into the new year. There's still a lot of people. There's a lot of people who've given up already. And they're right back in the same habits. They're right back in the same stuff. They're right back where they were before because they were training their eyes, but they had to give up. I got to give up time to go to the gym. I've got to give up this food to be on this diet. I've got to give this up to quit doing this. I got to give that up to quit doing that. And because they only focused on what they had to give up, they've already quit because it's too hard. It's too hard. Instead of focusing on the opportunity of, I'm going to make my life better this year. I'm going to change these habits this year. I'm going to do something different this year. I'm finally going to stop being a Rhymes with a Stitch and do the things that I'm supposed to do to make my life better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go on this vacation. I'm going to earn this money. I'm going to buy that car. We're going to buy that house. This is what I'm focused on and the only thing that I'm looking at. That's why the vision boards are so important. Right? When you see those pictures, when you see that vision, you're not looking at the wall anymore. You're not looking at where you are or where you've been. You're looking at where you're headed. You're looking out at the open track. So you see those visual pictures. You see those images. Those images you see every single day. They begin to pull you towards them. I talked about push and pull motivation the other day at the meeting. When you get that out there, when you see that thing out there, when you look at that open track and you see the open space, when your eyes are focused on the opening, your body is pulled in that direction. Your hands are pulled in that direction. You're no longer veering and stirring. Y'all have done that. When you're in your car, if you're looking over here and you're looking over there, your car you tend to go over there. Or if you're like me, I'm looking at my phone, I go all over the place. But wherever you're looking, wherever your eyes are focused, whatever your eyes are trained on, that's the direction your body follows. And in the car, that's the direction your car goes. Because your eyes are the opening to safety. Your eyes are the opening to your soul. Your eyes are the opening to your vision. And so your eyes are trained to where you're supposed to go. There's a reason. And there's a reason why they're in the front of your skull and on the back of your skull. There's a reason your eyes are in the front of your head and at the side of your head. So I want you today to look at the things you get to do. Look at the opportunities you have in front of you. You know, we did that FSBO training yesterday, which was super cool. But the fact of the matter is, probably less than 10% of the real estate industry really goes after for sale by owners. The other 90 are just like the other 90. And they're scared, they're afraid, they're fearful, they're focused on the for sale by owner saying no versus training their eyes on providing value to a for sale by owner. They're focused on the fact that they're going to have to go in and talk to a for sale by owner or try to persuade them or try to convince them instead of looking at the for sale by owner as an opportunity to help them get what they want. The difference between get to and have to. The difference between an obligation and an opportunity. It's so subtle, it's so slight, and it really is an emotional change. It's an emotional gear that switches in you when you look at something versus have to something you get to. So in this where we are right now, Shay, go back to your question. Here's some other advice for a new agent, but it's also life advice. Is bad as sometimes it gets, and it's going to be a struggle some days. There's some days it's a struggle. There's some days it's a struggle to motivate yourself. There's some days it's a struggle for some folks to get out of bed. There's some days it's a struggle to even want to pick up the phone. Some days we'd rather medicate ourselves, looking at TikTok for 2 hours, looking at Facebook posts for 2 hours. There's some days when it just feels too much. And so we medicate ourselves with the distraction of life. We medicate ourselves with all these things that are out there that can distract our attention. When what life is saying to you is you got to embrace this struggle. And I hate to use embrace the suck, but I'm going to use it because I think I mean, I'm telling you, we're hugging the heck out of some suck right now. But before I got on this call, I thought about this, and I didn't want to. And this is all I'm going to say about this. The struggle creates opportunity, and when things happen and situations change, and what you've looked at in the past or what you may see in the present look completely different than what you thought it was going to look. When the present situation looks different than it's looked in the past, when the present situation is not what you thought it was going to be, you got to train your eyes on the opportunity and what that bad situation is creating for you, what the struggle is building for you, what the cleansing is creating, the opening that it's allowing. Because a lot of times, and I'll just use this business as an example, as a real estate owner, every 4 to 7 years, real estate agents on average change companies. They just do. What we have figured out in this company is when we have openings, which is what is basically what's happening, is that we have these openings and we have fantastic people that fill these openings, which is exactly what's happening right now. So I want you to understand when this struggle occurs, and the struggle is going to occur, you're going to encounter things that are struggles. You're going to encounter days when it just doesn't work like you thought it was going to work, when it just doesn't feel like you thought it was going to feel. I just got a phone call from my daughter 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, just squalling tears. And I'm like, baby, what is going on? What is happening? And I'm in Georgia and she's in Tennessee, and she's telling me that her Mimi may be dying, that her grandmother may be dying. And in fact, that's probably the case. Bad things are going to happen. I don't know what this next 24 hours is going to look like. I don't know what's coming down the road. I'm not sure what phone calls I'm going to get. I'm not sure what emails I'm going to receive. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 24 hours. But what I do know is I'm looking for the opening on the track. What I do know is I'm keeping my eyes focused on the opportunity. What I do know is those struggles happen, those phone calls come, those things take place. There are emotions and there are all these other things that are out there in the world. But like a race car driver driving 140 miles an hour down the track, 2 inches between me and the car to my left and 2 inches between the wall and the right. If I look at the wall or if I look at the car, I'm certainly going to hit them. And when I hit those two things, the mess I'm going to cause behind me, the damage that I'm going to create, who knows? But if I keep my eyes focused on the opening, if I keep my eyes focused out front, I keep my eyes focused on the opportunity, I can deal with the struggle. I can cope, I can keep moving towards what I'm moving towards. I can keep moving in the direction of my dreams. I can keep moving in the direction of my desire. And it may just be one step. Heck, it may be just a crawl. Y'all remember me telling the story about Marcus Luttrell, the guy that was the lone survivor, Navy SEAL. And part of that struggle, broken back, shot 15, 16 times, 6 of his teammates already killed. He's laying in a creek in Afghanistan. He wakes up, he thinks he's dead. When he wakes up, he realizes that he's not dead. And he, right then in that moment, laying in that creek, says, I'm not going to die in Afghanistan. This ain't where I'm dying. And if I can just crawl 12 inches, I'll get out of this thing. And he crawled 12 inches, and he crawled 12 more inches, and he crawled 12 more inches. And because he had set his mind that he wasn't dying and he was going to survive that ordeal, and it wasn't going to be in Afghanistan where they were going to find his dead corpse, he ended up being found by some friendly Afghanis, and they took him to safety. And he survived. Good morning, Miss Brenda. Now, coincidence? I don't think so. He set his vision, he set his focus on what he's going to do, and then he took action toward doing it. Because some days, y'all, it is just a crawl. Some days it's a slog, y'all. Some days you feel like you're walking through mud that's up to your neck, but you just got to keep walking. You just got to keep moving. You just got to keep pushing. And when you're focused where you're headed, when you're focused on where you're going instead of where you are or where you were, there ain't nothing out there but blue skies and open track, y'all. There's nothing out in front of you but opportunity and greatness. There's nothing out in front of you but your dreams and your desires and what you're going to accomplish. And that's what I want, man. On this Friday, on January the 20th, that's what I want for y'all. That's what, Christian, I want for this company. This company is still a light on top of the hill. And sometimes when people try to unplug your light, you just got to plug it back in. Sometimes they unplug your light or cut your cord, you build a fire. So they go throw water on your fire, you find something else, use a car headlights, I don't know. But we're not going to stop being who we are. We're going to keep moving forward. We're going to have our eyes focused on where we're headed, not where we are or where we've been. And I'm telling you, it's not always easy. It's not always easy. It's not always easy to give something up that you've been doing for your entire life. It's not always easy to break a bad habit. It's never easy to implement a new, I promise you, I was going to say, it's never easy. It's just not. It's not easy to create new habits. That's why 75 hard so hard. That's why any kind of new habit creation is hard. That's why New Year's resolutions, these resolutions to old problems, that's why they suck. Because it's hard. So here's what I want. Here's what I want you to start thinking about on this Friday, on January the 20th, 2023. If you don't remember anything else from this morning call, I want you to remember this. Focus on the opening. Focus on the track ahead of you, not on the car and the wall beside you. Focus on the opportunity, not on the challenge. Look at what you get to do, not what you have to do. Look out in front instead of looking always in the past, looking behind. That view never changes. It's always going to be the same. You can't change the past. You can't change what's behind you. You can't change what you've said or what's been said to you. But out there, it's unlimited. The only thing that's keeping you from getting out there is you. I don't want to give up pizza. I'm telling you what, I can taste pizza right now in my mouth. I wish I could. I got to eat 14 pizzas right now. But the more I focus on having to give up pizza, the more I want pizza. The more I focus on having to give that up, that just reinforces how much I want it. And that's what causes the problem. That's what causes the strain. That's what causes the struggle. When I get to give up pizza because it's making me mentally stronger. When I get to give up pizza because it's making me physically stronger. When I get to give up pizza because it's making me emotionally stronger, I don't even worry about it anymore. It's just what it is. Just pizza. That's all. That's all. When we change our vision and we alter what we look at, when we focus on the correct things, our car can't help but go in that direction. Your heart can't help but go in that direction. You're going to see exactly what you're looking for. And I promise you, God has set that vision in your heart. He has put that vision in your spirit. He has put that dream in you. That's why when you think about it, it feels so good. You don't think, God, you don't sit and think about other people's dreams. You don't sit and think about and ponder other people's visions. You don't sit and ponder somebody else's. It's yours. That's why it feels so good. And when it feels bad, guess what? That ain't yours. When your emotions get off because you're thinking about something that it makes you feel bad, that's your emotional cue that it's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. So that thing that God puts in your soul and he puts in your heart and he puts in your spirit that feels good, that's the thing you go chase. That's the thing you go after. That's the thing you set your vision on. That's the thing you put blinders on and you go after. Because what you seek is seeking you. God is, y'all, when there's a storm and it's cloudy outside and it's dark outside, you do know the sun's still shining, right? When it's raining and dreary and cold and miserable outside, the sun's still shining. That's one of the coolest things that's one of the things I love about flying so much is on the ground, it's awful, terrible, horrible. And then in about 5 minutes, the sun's shining so bright you got to close the shades. The sun's always there. It's always there. It never leaves. Your dream and your desire, God's put in your heart to do, the purpose you have in your life, the spark you have in your soul, it's always there. No matter what you see, no matter what you're experiencing, or the struggle that you're going through right now, that thing's always out there. You just got to break through the clouds to see it. You got to break through the struggle to see it. You got to stop looking at the storm as a storm and look at the storm as an opportunity to enhance the good, to enhance the sun, to make that sun more appreciated. You got to look at the struggle not for the struggle itself, but that the struggle is propelling you. It's teaching you. It's helping you build strength to get to where you're supposed to be. Today, focus your vision, focus your eyes on what it is you want. Focus your eyes and focus your vision on the opening, not on the danger, on the get to versus the have to, on the opportunities versus the obligations. Do the things you got to do, but keep your eyes focused on the things that are seeking you. Keep your eyes focused on what it is you want, what it is you're building, what it is you're creating. Keep your eyes focused on the opening, not the danger. I love y'all so much, man. I want nothing but the absolute best for every single one of you on this call, especially our agents, especially y'all. I want the best for y'all. I love to watch you grow. I love to hear your stories. I love to watch your families change. We love to see all the differences in you as you go from who you were to who you are. Christy and those are some of our best conversations. We watch the transformation and watch you guys change and watch you take on this who you actually are versus who you understood yourself to be in the past. It is amazing. It's an amazing thing. And we want nothing more than for each one of you to continue to move towards your dreams, move towards your goals, move toward making the best version of you. That's why we do what we do. And man, is it hard sometimes? It absolutely is hard sometimes. Are there struggles? Heck, yes, there are struggles. Are there storm clouds? Yes. Is it raining and lightning and thundering? Yes. But the sun's always there. The sun's always shining. Never goes away. Go the direction of your dreams. Take steps today in the direction of your desires. Keep your eyes focused on the opportunity. Keep your eyes focused on the open, not on the danger. Okay? That's your job today. Look out in front. See the opening. Look for the sun. Go find the sun today. Any of you that want to get with me today, I'm stopping there. So now this is completely real estate. For those of you on the call yesterday that what? What are you talking about? Everybody say good morning. Say good morning, baby. Um, if you need me to go over some things with you and again how to go find those for sale by owners, I'm happy to do that. I know I kind of glossed over that yesterday. I probably will implement that into the training, do a little bit more on that the next time we do it. But love y'all. Thanks for being here. And if you want to get with me later today, just shoot me an email or a text message or call me, and I'll help kind of just direct you through how to go find those for sale by owners in different spots. Um, but I love y'all. We love y'all, and keep your eyes focused on where you're going. Okay, keep your eyes up. Keep them ahead. Don't look down. Look out. Okay, look up. Look up. Love you guys. Be good. Be great. Be you. And oh yeah, this is Friday. See you guys on Monday. Have an awesome weekend. Go out there and do something fun this weekend. If you have not, if you're on this call and you don't have your goals written down for 2023 yet, what are you doing with your life? If your goals aren't written down yet for your business, your personal life, your relationships, what you want this year, what are you doing? Please, this weekend, take some time and finish that. Please don't look past that. It is such an important thing for you to do. Don't look past how important that is. Okay. Have a wonderful day, y'all. We love y'all. Erica, Millie, Brenda, Vanessa, hey, I'm gonna finish this up. Sorry about that, y'all. I kind of went the wrong direction. I was trying to look at more names on here. Michelle Tilson, all you guys, love y'all. Be good, be great, be you. Have an awesome weekend. See you guys.